are trying something a little different for the Cosi Talks live show for the morning. So happy New Year. First of all, I've been taking the last couple of weeks off to be with my family and my kids, but everybody's off back to school. So I am in full gear for Cosi Talks. Lots and lots of fun stuff planned for this year, guys. Tonight, I will be announcing who my 2022 sponsors are. I have 4 amazing organizations that are sponsoring my show this year, and I couldn't be more grateful. Lots of education information that we are going to be bringing courtesy of my sponsors this year. Today, we're going to start off the year by trying out one of my favorite core exercises. You guys have heard me talk a lot about core. By the way, everybody, say good morning to Suzanne. Hi, Suzanne. Say hi. Suzanne is our beautiful amputee model for this morning. So, guys, if you've ever watched any of my live event series, the 3-day series I did in the summertime, it was a 3-day series, 3 different topics. I did 1 full day dedicated to core. Okay. And at some point I will post the link for that so you guys can rewatch that video. Okay. The core is exactly that. It's at the center of your body, right? And if your core is not strong, then you don't have a good foundation from which to work. Let's see who we got here. We got Harsh. Happy New Year to you as well. Hey guys, give me a shout out. Let me know if you're out there. I'm actually broadcasting from my front yard because my garage, I'm not going to lie, it's a hot mess right now. So we decided to enjoy the beautiful Florida weather and be out here for today. Okay, I guess I should probably introduce myself. Some people are probably watching going, who is this crazy person? So for those of you who are joining me for the first time, my name is Cosi Belloso. I'm a physical therapist, amputee specialist here in Tampa, Florida. So I have a private clinic here that's exclusively for working with amputees. And I also host my nighttime talk show, Cosi Talks Live, 8:30 p.m. every Wednesday evening. All right. So guys, today we're going to be talking about the core. All right. So the core is not just that cute little 6-pack that people like to work out that I don't have. Okay. Your core is much, much more involved in that. It involves the abdominals in the front. It involves the back extensor muscles in the back, right? It involves the diaphragm, that big, big breathing muscle that is right under your lungs. And it also involves your pelvic floor, basically where your body meets the saddle. That is your pelvic floor. So all of these components of your core have to be working together, okay? I've said a lot of times, and those of you who have been reading my book, okay, that I just published, I talk about the body liking balance, okay? And when something is not in balance with your body, meaning if one side has less range of motion, if one side is weaker than the other, if one set of muscle groups is overpowering the other set of muscle groups that it's supposed to be working with, you start having problems, okay? You start having instability. How many of you, let's do a quick little Cosi poll. Hey, Debbie, Happy New Year. How many of you, hey, David, feel unstable when you're walking? Show of hands. I'm going to sip my coffee while y'all put that into the comment section. How many of you feel unstable when you are walking with your prosthesis? If y'all can hear my dog in the back, she's like going insane because she wants to be out here. Okay. So a lot of the instability can be due to just muscle weakness. And if you trace it back, a lot of times it starts with having core weakness. Okay, so David says, yes, very unstable. So today we're going to focus on my number 1 exercise that I give to all of my patients. Okay, I give to my patients who have not been paying attention to their fitness and they're starting at square one. But folks, I also give this particular core exercise to my higher level athletes. A lot of times my athletes will be working out and doing a lot of workouts, but they're not focusing on activating their core from deep within. Okay. So other muscles will take over that core. All right. So I'm going to put my coffee down. Those of you who are following me with your book, okay, the exercise that we're going to be doing today, and it just got flipped over, is in the core section of the book. Okay. And it is on page 75. So guys, those of you who have not seen my book yet, the link is in the comment, is up in the post right now. The Strong Body book for below the knee. The above the knee book is coming out very soon, guys. You can follow the exercise we're doing on page 75 of this book. It's called TVA setting. George says, yes, that's his main problem. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and have Suzanne come on to the mat, okay? And guys, give me a thumbs up. I don't have a microphone on this particular computer, so let me know if you can still hear me as I go back around. All right, we're gonna have her lie down. Now, guys, the deepest muscle in our core is actually the transverse abdominis, and it runs across our body. It's underneath the rectus abdominis. That's your six pack. It's underneath the obliques. It's all the way deep in there. Okay. And transverse, it means it runs across. That's how the fibers run. So it actually looks like a corset. And those of you out there who are looking to get rid of a little bit of that Christmas belly, this is a fantastic way to do it, to start strengthening this particular muscle. Hey, Patricia, we got Mathis on board. Hey, Claudine. Okay. So we're going to show you how to activate it. Because it's so deep, people tend to activate their rectus abdominis and their oblique muscles. It's really hard sometimes to activate that deep transverse abdominis. So when I'm first working with my patients, I have them lie down just like this, okay? And it doesn't matter if you're in above the knee or below the knee. The position is the same, guys. And you can do it with your prosthesis. Suzanne is opting to do it with her prosthesis, which I like because it gives her body that symmetry. However, if you want to do it without your prosthesis, that is perfectly fine too. What you would do is you would position it with a stool underneath your residual limb so that both knees are nice and even, okay? Now for this exercise, the first couple of times I do this exercise with a patient, I stick my hand underneath into their lower back, right around here. And that's what I'm going to do with Suzanne, okay? So I'm going to put my hand right underneath in the middle of her back. And guys, those of you who are trying this for the first time, you can ask a loved one to do the same thing, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm pushing up with my fingers into her lower back. I'm kind of tapping her lower back. And I'm going to have Suzanne contract her belly gently and push down into my fingers as if she were squishing them. And she's doing it right now. Now, the reason you're not seeing a whole lot is because it's a very subtle contraction. It's not meant to be this big power contraction, okay? Again, we're trying to activate that deep transverse abdominis muscle. So if you contract too strongly, you're going to start contracting the rectus abdominis and the obliques. And we don't want that just now, okay? So you can relax. She's been holding it this whole time. Very nicely done, okay? So basically, I'm kind of tickling her lower back with my fingers underneath. And then when I feel her push down, go ahead. Perfect. And she has a slight movement of her pelvis when that happens. That's how I know she's activating this properly, okay? So she's holding it and then relax, okay? And Suzanne does a really great job of breathing through. You can't hear it right now because we don't have a microphone, but she does a great job of breathing through, okay? That's getting her diaphragm to work together with her transverse abdominis, sorry. And again, we're trying to get that core to work all together, okay? So I'm gonna have her do it one more time. She's gonna push down, squeeze my fingers gently, and hold the contraction for 5 seconds, and then release, okay? Now, once my patients have figured out how to activate that transverse abdominis without overpowering with the other muscles, I take my hand out from under their back. And what I have them do is I have them take their fingers. Here, I'm going to get closer to the camera. I have them take their fingers and find their hip bones, okay? A little easier on women to find because we've got nice big hip bones right there, right? So what she's going to do is she's going to take her fingers on her hip bones and roll them in just a little bit until you hit that soft tissue, okay? And that's what she's doing right now, okay? So she's putting her fingers right into there, okay? So now when she does the contraction, I'm going to sit on this side now. So when she does the contraction, right, she's going to feel her fingers subtly, very subtle movement underneath her fingers. That's the transverse abdominis that's contracting. It's kind of hard to palpate because it is deep in there, okay? But I have my patients do that because this is what happens. People get really excited. They're like, oh yeah, I'm strengthening my core. I'm activating, contracting that muscle. So they tend to contract too much, right? And then they start to bring in the external obliques, the internal obliques, and the rectus abdominis, right? So in putting your fingers right here inside of your hip, okay, that's preventing you from contracting too hard. Does that make sense? And to keep it a controlled contraction, okay? If you do the contraction and your fingers go flying out, okay, that means you're contracting too hard, Makes sense, guys? Hey, Denise, Happy New Year. Hey, Steve, I know, I can't wait for that buck either. Oh my gosh. All right, so Suzanne is gonna do the contraction again. She's holding it, and she can feel a slight tightening underneath her fingertips. That's what she's feeling, okay? And if you have, for example, sometimes with my patients, I might have lift up their shirt a little bit so they can see their belly button to see what it's doing. You'll see your belly button going down and a little bit up, and then relax. It's a very controlled movement, and it takes a few tries to get that contraction down. Hey, Rhonda, Happy New Year. Now, guys, this might seem like a really simple exercise, and you're just sitting there going, really? That's all you got to do to strengthen your core? Yes. Yes. And the reason why people have a lot of trouble with their core is because it's really hard to be disciplined to take the time to do the simple exercises, right? People want to get out there and do all the crazy CrossFit and all the fun exercises, but first, you got to build a strong foundation. How many of you out there are having back pain? Put that in the comment section. I want to hear. Who is having back pain? That comment section should be like lighting up like a Christmas tree right now, okay? So guys, with this particular exercise, it can help people who are experiencing back pain. And what I love, Joan is like, moi. What I love about this exercise is it can be applied to anybody who's having back pain. It's a very gentle exercise. It helps relieve the pressure off the back. Rhonda says, I'm having back pain. Denise is having back pain. Guys, I sometimes get back pain. I carried 4 pregnancies. So yeah, sometimes I have lower back pain that starts to act up a little bit. And in the mornings, I will do this exercise. It kind of just sets my back in the right place, okay? Some of us are going to arch our back. Some of us round our back out, okay? And that causes problems with back pain. Doing this exercise is kind of a good reboot for your back, okay? And then obviously you're starting to activate that transverse abdominis. Now, Marianne asked a very good question for my bilateral above the knee amputees, okay? 2 ways of doing this. First, if you can do it with both of your prosthetic legs on, I would recommend that you do it. Why? Because again, you want your body getting used to the fact that those are now your legs. And it gives you a nice symmetry when you have the prosthetic legs on. That being said, not all of my bilateral above the knee patients can wear their prosthesis at the same time just yet, okay? So they can do this exercise by putting a roller, and of course I didn't bring my roller, putting a roller right under the legs, a foam roller right under your residual limbs so that your residual limbs are a little bit up. The reason why I want your residual limbs up is it because it helps relieve the pressure on the back. Do you want to sit up, poor thing? You got that sun right in your eyes. Okay. So Patricia says yes to back pain. David Donahue says yes to back pain. Okay. So guys, what do you do with this? Okay. It actually takes a few weeks of consistently doing this exercise to start noticing a difference. And again, I have people do it in the lying down position. Why? Because it's the easiest. Your brain can focus on just activating that muscle. It doesn't have to think about doing anything else. Hey, Stephen. So guys, once my patients are starting to master this exercise, then we build upon it, okay? So one of the ways they do it, and we tried it already this morning with Suzanne. Have you bent your leg up just a little bit more? Good. So she's going to set her transverse abdominis. She's going to do the contraction, okay? And then she's going to straighten out her left leg while holding the contraction and then bringing it back up again. And then bringing your leg back up. I know it's tough to see here. It's not easy to do. It's really not easy to do. And usually what I'll do is I'll stick my hand underneath the person's back, and they have to be able to consistently squish my hand as they're straightening their leg out and bringing it back up again. So again, that's something that you do after you've been practicing it in this position for several weeks. It takes several weeks for that muscle fiber to really start to gain the strength and start remodeling itself. Denise asks, can this be done in the bed before getting up, or does it need to be on a hard surface like the floor? Bed, Denise, definitely. I do it before I wake up sometimes in the mornings where I open my eyes and I'm like, it's going to be one of those days where my lower back is kicking off a little bit. Before I even get out of bed, I'll do some of these transverse setting exercises. And it just, again, it reboots your back and it activates that transverse abdominis so that when I start doing my movements of getting out of the bed and going out and about my day, my transverse abdominis starts activating on its own, Okay. And that's the goal, guys. When you're doing a core strengthening program, when you're doing a back pain program, the goal is that you are able to move about your daily life, whether you're reaching down, whether you're lifting something, and for your body to naturally activate the core properly. Okay. True story. After I had my 4 kids, I went to go see I have 2 physical therapists that I go to see, right? And she was able to do an ultrasound to look at my core muscles. It was really, really, really cool. And at the time I was running, I was doing my, my core strengthening exercises, or I thought I was doing them properly. And when she looked, my transverse abdominis was itty bitty tiny compared to my obliques. And she said, you know what? I think this is why you're having hip pain. We traced it back up to my transverse abdominis. And my transverse abdominis was super, super, super thin compared to my obliques. So what we noticed was my obliques were taking over. So I had to go back, start from square one, and do this exercise to start getting things properly so I could have a strong core, which eventually helped with my hip pain when I was running. Kind of interesting. That's the PT nerd in me. All right. Hello, Steven. So guys, try this exercise at home. I would love to hear your comments on this. And those of you who have purchased a Strong Body subscription, let me see if I can do this properly. I'm going to try to share my screen. Let's see if I can make it work, guys. Let's see. So guys, can you guys see that? Can you tell me in the comment section if you can see this? Right now, I'm hoping that you can see my Strong Body program, my website. And on it, you'll see the transverse abdominis setting. You can find that in the below the knee and the above the knee tabs under core phase 1. Okay, so hopefully you're able to see that. All right. Did that go through, guys? Yes, you're able to see it. Yay. Okay, I'm able to work these bells and whistles. So for those of you who have purchased the program, okay, if you're an above the knee or below the knee, you'll go into your above the knee or below the knee tab, core phase 1. And it's phase 1 for a reason, because that's where you need to start, okay? And there's a couple of other exercises for core in that phase 1 as well. And also for the book, okay? So those of you who have already purchased a subscription and your book, you have your homework assignment. I want you to go do it. Those of you who have not purchased a subscription, what are you waiting for? Go check out the website, guys. There's some sample videos on there that you can try out. There's a monthly payment plan that is very reasonable. And hopefully we can see more of you using this program. Okay, guys, I'm going to sign off for now. Remember, tonight, okay, big reveal, Cosi Talks 2022 sponsors and all of the education and information I'm going to be bringing you this year with the help of my sponsors. And once again, thank you to my lovely model, Suzanne. Say thank you, guys. She's got to get going to work, so I got to let her go. But in the meantime, guys, I have a great day, and I will see you tonight. Bye, guys.